Welcome back, everyone. My name is Meg Zero. Back here with more Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, in the last episode, we went through a very lengthy process of finding all of our characters and all of their stats. Or actually, I didn't do the stats because the thing was already 4 minutes and almost 4 gigs of video files. So we'll just leave that. But we now have the option to explore, and by option, I mean it's the only thing we have to do. But let's look at some things real quick. We have goals, a roster, inventory. Most of these are empty right now because we have barely done anything yet. But you look over to the left, we have our professor level right there. And we have our goals, seeing everyone's mode ability and what they're learning to do. All characters have 2, even though personally I prefer to have the students have 1, and maybe some minor experience in some others, but we'll get to that. Our roster allows you to view the characters in all their glory and see everyone's age, weight, where they're from, and what class they're in. Our roster right now is pitifully low because we have nothing to do with, but let's actually start by exploring because that's our only option. As much as I'm tempted to play the future ROM, I think right now I'd probably get copyrighted. Starting New Game Plus, carry over data. They tell us all the things we already saw. So this is my room. I thought I heard it go otherwise, but I must have been imagining things. But you want to go around here and just look at the minor things you have. Bulletin board shows you the quests that are available. You also have right here your DLC supplies. These supplies will be taken at once as a set. You must have space available in your home or your storehouse to do so. So you have the Sacred Item Set, which gives you a few different items. This one increases your health by 7, strength by 3, speed by 3, and movement by 2. So let's just, take all that because that's amazing. And there's really nothing else we can get here. But we're actually going to look at our journal. Unit appearance is now available. You can change how unit characters appear in the monastery, in battle, or during events. This will not alter the voice and or profile image of the character. In the game, you can spend now unlocking skills, but let's go with unit appearance. Let's go with something like Byleth. You have their attire right here, and you can change it to each of the different phases. And some of these really are just weird, but let's go with something like the Academy, and you can do it with the cloak. And you have the Academy uniform, and I do like this. This looks good. It looks like an actual professor, but you can also do it without the cloak, but we will keep it with the cloak for right now. You have House Longwear, which looks like he's getting ready for a sporting event. Servant's attire, classic, and they have a custom one, which probably is it just the flaps? I can't tell. Oh, it's just red. You have summer wear, fair enough. Evening wear, which is just the default costume with a little bit more bells and whistles. You have the Sophis Regalia, so no, and Dancer Ensemble, which I guess is to show like, oh, here's what Bio could look like if they were a dancer, but why would you ever make your main Actually, you know what, never mind. Probably a few people would do that. But we're just going to walk around with the war attire real quick. You have accessories. You could get Byleth with glasses, but it just kind of looks weird. And you have stuff that Byleth will look like in battle. So you have stuff like class, which they'll appear in the monastery and out, or you can have them just look like their monastery outfit. In this case, it's just that. Edelgard's the only one who really... Oh, they changed it. You can't change her hair. Or I think it depends on her attire. Because they all have different outfits depending on when you have them. The unit's appearance in battle, we'll just change that because they usually give her an option to change her hair, which is what's different. But you can do this for literally everyone. So we'll leave it right there. Our professor level is pitifully low. It's at E, and you get a small amount of activities. You can do one thing. We're going to change that. It doesn't affect until the very end of the game, but you can increase your professor level, giving you more activities and things to do throughout the game when you're in the monastery running around. I will be increasing it to A+, because I want to maximize all of my units' efficiency, because we're doing hard mode. Sure, we're not doing maddening, because maddening mode. You guys really don't want to do that, but we're going to do that. And now we're professor level A+. Once you reach professor level C, you can assign an adjutant to follow a unit to battle. The number of adjutants you assign for battle increases with your professor level. You get a few different things. You got follow up, guard and defend, and heal. You can see these when you were going into battle, but you won't need to see them right now. There are higher. The effects are higher at different levels, so it's kind of like pair up, but not pair up from a. It's kind of like passive pair up, so to speak. They won't attack unless they have the attack option. They won't guard unless they guard, and they won't heal unless they heal. And it depends on your support level. The more you have it, the more it increases. And the way to increase your professor level is just by doing random activities around the monastery. Things like fishing, eating with your students, doing battles, watching the tournaments, stuff like that. That increases your unit effectiveness. We also have the support levels right here. You can buy literally any character support level for very few. If I wanted to get the students as soon as possible, because you can recruit students into other houses, you would, by chance, just have to do this, buy their levels. But you don't see their support, so what I'll be doing is I'll try to raise them naturally for units outside of battle, i.e. look at pretty much all the units I can get, stuff like Felix, Ash, so you can increase their support level and they'll join your house sooner, but you really don't unlock the ability to have students join your house until later. I might do it, I might not, it really just depends. I might do it when Late Night CJ, my father's here, to explain this to level. You have skill levels here. So you have stuff like how everyone starts off with. So for example, the only one I got into rank level S plus is swords, and that's because I like swords. I've got 3 of them in my house. The only thing I might realistically have as a weapon, bows are interesting. I've raised it to a number, like all these I've increased to like reasonable levels. Like, and this is over the course of many playthroughs. Like, look at this, authority is really close to being unlocked. Heavy armor, I've done nothing. Riding, I barely done. And flying, I've done a little bit, mainly because you get skills by increasing these. So for example, let's increase sword all the way to S+, because it increases your damage with them. Excuse me. And you also need to be certain ranks to wield certain weapons. So we'll jump up to S+. You learn different combat skills at different levels. And look at this, it's just all the power. All the power! And most of these other ones I will just be training with other people to get. The only other one I'm going to get is I'm going to jump this up to A in flying, because you get alert stance, and alert stance is an amazing skill that you can drop on by if you wait instead of attacking, your character gets more avoidance, so we're going to keep that. And that'll be it really for skills, because really you don't need any other one else. Everyone else can like really just kind of jump into their skills as long as you don't try to branch them out. The only time you want to branch them out is if you wanted to jump into a class early on and then focus on things. We already did skill levels, class abilities. We're going to do this for, if you can do this for some of them, like for example, the only master class I mastered was War Master, but they gave you quick riposte. So if anyone attacks you, you get quick riposte, so you hit them twice. So let's do that. War Master Strike and quick riposte, see? And if you go to this one, like Hero, Sword Master, Wyvern Rider, Warrior. Warrior, I believe, gives you death blows, so it is in contrast to some other skills. But Mercenary, I believe, gives you Vantage. Yeah, so if you have Mans, it's like, alright, yeah, here are all these things to get these for you. The only thing I probably would do that is, like, it's really not anything else. I don't know what Hero gives you. I think Hero gives you Wrath. But we're really not going into doing things, because you see for certain characters like this, these were my first playthroughs, so I didn't have them long. So they weren't able to master a lot of them, except for characters like Bernadetta. And even Dorothea, because I had Bernadette as a dancer at first. But you have skills like this. So if I increase a character's skills off screen, I'll do that. That's because I want to move him to a different class. You have crest items here that you get for taking certain actions in the game. Since I played through every route except for Silver Snow, you have that. But let's actually get in and meet the students, because I was talking for a good 9 minutes. Anyways though, let's talk to Sedith here.
These are the students' quarters. To better help you supervise them, you also have a room here. Your room is here at the end. Commoner students also reside on the first floor. while the second is primarily for students of noble birth.
A bit of
As a
classism
rule,
there,
we
I
try
see.
to avoid discrimination based on social status here, but the nobility can be quite insistent when it comes to matters of propriety.
Ah, I see.
Speaking
It
of,
was
it would be
nobility's
best
problem.
for you to avoid improper conduct. I expect you to set a good example for the students.
I will do my best. I get this crap a lot from people I work with, naming one of my parents. It's like, oh yeah, set proper conduct because the way you act at home versus the way you act in front of your students is different. Anyways, we're gonna go talk to our house leader here, in the very case, Edelgard. Edelgard, what do you have to say for us?
Some believe the dignity of the Empire rests on the results of the Mach battle. That's an overstatement, of course. Still, we must do our best to prevail.
Fair enough, I suppose.
You should take the time to learn each student's abilities. Perhaps some extra lessons and training sessions are in order? You look as if you have no idea what's going on here. I know my way around, so I'm happy to help you find your footing.
And you do need to technically learn about these, so we might as well.
The monastery has some exceptional facilities that everyone who lives at the Officers' Academy is welcome to make use of. For example, you can enjoy a meal with your students at the dining hall, or take part in some one-on-one sparring at the training grounds. I suggest visiting the various facilities whenever you have the time to spare. It's a great way to get to know the students, faculty, and various workers here.
Okay, so basically Edelgard makes sense. The only thing about the training grounds is that you will never be able to participate in any of the events they throw on, because the training grounds would be broken if Byleth could just take part in any of these because, oh yeah, look, I'm God, I can do
Have you noticed
everything.
the bulletin boards placed around the monastery? Those contain requests people have posted, as well as helpful information from the market. If you prove yourself by helping people with their requests, certain facilities here will become available for your use. The bulletin board is updated frequently, so I suggest checking it at least once a month.
Yeah, she says once a month. We do it twice a month because all the available side quests appear on your map as well. And you can also fast travel to them, so yay for you. Activity points.
You should take your time when speaking with everyone, but when it comes to using the facilities, well, you need to be more careful about that. If you use them without planning ahead, your free time will be gone before you know it.
Yeah, I already pretty much explained how the activities points work. For every activity you use, namely training or spending time with your students, i.e. like eating with them or watching events going on, it'll take away one activity point. You start off with one activity point when you first do this, and when the game first came out, all you had to do was fish literally for like a couple of hours, and you would get max professor rank. But you can't do that, or at least I'm not sure you can. Anyways though, the more activity points you have, the better it is for you in the long run, which is why I increased my professor level to 8+ before we did this. And when you're done exploring, you finish the L button, and the game will notify you. It'll make the Futurama thing sounds from what you know. And for the last one, we have our professor level.
A great deal is expected from professors of the Officers' Academy, so it's important to hone your skills. To put it plainly, you'll need to keep expanding your knowledge of all disciplines, not just battle.
Yeah, your professor level determines your maximum activity points. Raise it by reading books, taking part in activities, or interacting with the students. And that's basically what you want to do. I believe your professor level also increases by doing certain quests, but we'll get to that later on. And basically, you know, we spoke with our house leader, and we're technically done. We're actually going to look all around the monastery and complete a few quests that they have going on. Hubert, what do you got?
Dimitri and Claude are the leaders of the other two houses. Do not underestimate them. When we take the field, it would be best not to engage the both of them at once.
And that is very true. When you got multiple forces going on, unless you have the world's best tank, i.e. someone like Byleth, who has very unique set of skills, it's not a very good idea to just throw your character in there and expect, oh yeah, everything's going well, especially on hard mode. Caspar, what's going on? Why are you staring at that guy over there by the gate?
Wow, Yuritsa sure seems strong. I kind of thought he was going to be the new professor assigned to our class. After that teacher ran away during our outdoor training, I figured Yuritsa was a natural replacement. I was surprised when you were suddenly appointed professor instead. I don't think I could hold my own against Yuritsa in battle. I could probably take you, though.
Hey, yo, what? Not a
You
chance.
really think so? With enough training, I'm sure I'll beat you someday.
And that's the explanation you go. Yeah, I don't remember this dialogue, the Caspar, the first time around. I think it is because of Three Hopes and how they changed it out. Like, oh yeah, the other professor ran away, and we never figure out about that. Like, that's just like a throwaway line, and that's why I'm pretty sure of what Three Hopes was based on. If I'm wrong, please tell me. If Three Hopes was based off that one freaking line, amazing, well done, I suppose. But what they didn't become a professor, they became a student.
I care nothing of friendship. If you have no business here, leave.
Wow, that's just rude. Anyways, though, time to run. I'm so used to other games where if you click the left stick, it allows you to run immediately. This will become available later, but we don't have anything available. It's just the sauna, and you'll get another free point out of that later on. But let's go check in on all the other students, and we're just gonna basically we have free reign of the academy, as you can no doubt see. First off, by going into the Black Legal class, we have Ferdinand von Eyre.
Let me tell you the provenance of our class name, the Eagle. That refers to the twin-headed eagle on the Adrestian Empire's coat of arms. And black is the traditional color of the Empire's armor, hence black eagles.
Neat. Anyways, like a lot of this stuff, like I can really give two craps about. But do know this: if I start to recruit students later on, because that's what you can do when the students are not in your class. If I just buy their support points, I will show off the supports for every single time I buy them. So it's like, alright, here's support 1, here's support 2, here's support 3, and you can see it so on and so forth. But for right now, let's not do that because it's the very beginning of the game and you can't recruit these students anyways. Spotted Ingrid.
The Blue Lion House derived its name from the honorary title of the first king of Fargus. Lug, the king of lions, wore brilliantly blue garments. His chivalric exploits are recorded in multiple legends. The library holds various historical accounts regarding him and the Blue Lions. If you find time, you should read them. They're filled with insights.
I don't think I will, but thank you. Anyways, though.
Right.
Mercedes.
Before I came to the Officers Academy, I attended a school of magic in the Kingdom Capital. That's where I met Annie. That's what I call Annette. Oh, I guess Lawrence was at the School of Magic too. But Annie was always just so nice to me, even though I was older. She's my best friend in the world.
Yeah, by the time the game first starts off, everyone is relatively like young-ish. They're preteens, teenagers, some of them are adults technically. But most of the characters are, again, young. There's like a few exceptions. Hubert is like 1 year younger than Violet, even though it says Violet's age is unknown. I think canonically they are 21 when the game first starts. Anyways,
Hi,
though.
Professor. How are you doing? If you're not
I'm
busy,
doing decent.
would you like to join me on a little trip into town? If I'm cooped up in this dusty old monastery for too long, it drives me absolutely crazy.
I can agree with that, even if it would be weird. It's just like, alright, go to see it now. Then again, this is like the Middle Ages. This is like, remember when the thing that shall not be named hit and people were getting insane, being driven off the walls because they had stayed inside all day? Oh, good lord. Anyways, Ignatz and
This
Lorenz.
is the Golden Deer House. You're in charge of a different house, right? Too bad we won't see more of each other. I'm happy to learn from you if the opportunity comes up.
Maybe. I don't know.
Our house is that of the Golden Deer. Do you know the significance of that name, Professor?
No, I do not.
Golden
I
deer
really
are
don't care.
sacred creatures, said to have protected
Really?
Leicester since time immemorial.
This happens again.
All three of the houses have a meaning behind their name. You should feel free to ask around if that sort of knowledge interests you.
I'm just trying to be polite and make conversation, but I guess people just think like, oh yeah, talk to this guy, he'll just know everything. Not that. Zoom out. But yeah, you have all these different areas that we have not even begun to explore yet. Third floor is something we're not going to go see right away because honestly we don't need to see it. Second floor is something we can go see in multiple areas, so I will try to make this as, oh good lord. We'll try to make this as quick as possible, just kind of like exploring the areas. It's just that the Garreg Monastery is huge, and it's going to be tiring to explore all of it. Hilda and Claude.
Oh, Professor, have you adjusted to life at the academy yet? Me,
Not
I'm
really,
still
but
not
it's
used
fine.
to it. I'm not one for all this studying and training.
Okay, I can tell. I think it's in your profile, actually.
Hey, Teach. I hear there's gonna be a mock battle between the houses.
We're gonna
I'm
win.
not gonna lie, I'm a bit concerned about facing an elite mercenary like you. Maybe take it easy on us. What do you say?
The thing is, they use real weapons in the Mach battle. Surprisingly, they use real weapons instead of stuff like this. But here's another cutscene, so to speak. Here we are in a dormitory, even though we saw the upper half, and I believe right here is the... Nope, it's still the upper half. They don't show the lower half, which is dumb, because the most likely area you're going to come from is down from up there to down here, so they show it this way, but whatever. Here is one of my... This is a character that people both like and dislike. I'm kind of in the middle. Leonie.
I'm Captain Gerald's first and best apprentice. I can beat anyone, Professor. Even you, if I have to. It may have been only for a short time, but I learned from the absolute best.
You have hero worship problems, and I doubt you can beat someone like me if you only knew someone for such a short amount of time. Anyways, dormitory, 4th floor. And you see that we have a door right here that we could quote-unquote talk to, but...
I don't like to come out unless I really have to. Hope you're okay with that, Professor.
Not really, but Bernadette's just chilling out in her room, and she stays here for the entire game. Unless you're in Black Eagles or Civil Snow, I believe. But yeah, she stays in there the entire game. You can't bring her out no matter what. I've tried. Other playthroughs? Nope, she stays there for good. But going down here, we have the greenhouse and fishing pond. In doing so, we have Lintard here. I'll try to make this as quick as possible
The
going
Great
through here.
Tree Moon is the best time of the year for naps. I could just forget all about my assignment.
Excuse me, what? Oh, crap. Realistically, the teacher in me is saying, like, that's not a good idea. But if you want to get support points as soon as possible, I would suggest to say, now I'm feeling sleepy too. Yeah, like I said, the teacher in me is saying, nah, cut that out. Like, the way I see it is, like, the earlier you finish your work, the more you can sleep later on. That's what I would use to get for motivation, but hey, that's just me.
Oh, did you come to look at the plants too? The greenhouse here is really incredible. There are so many rare flowers I'd never seen back home, and herbs I never even knew existed.
Neat. You seem well informed on the
My
subject,
adoptive
Ash.
father is the real expert. He taught me everything I know about herbs, including how to tell them apart and how to make medicines. You should try looking around the greenhouse sometime if the mood strikes you. Maybe something will catch your eye.
He has a good point. You're really going to need to be around the greenhouse a lot in this game, trust. Gardening has not yet been unlocked, but I'll explain the function of the greenhouse real quick while we move along. The greenhouse is where you use to plant seeds and you can get certain items. These items can range from flowers to stat boosting items. The flowers are used as gifts to get people to increase their support affection and join you early on, while the stat boosters are stat boosters, and you know how stat boosters work. We have another character over here.
Let's see. I'm a little busy.
Oh, so, like, can't we just talk a little and both like, oh, sorry,
If
is
you're
like the
looking for
option.
the greenhouse, it's right there. See it? Looks like a greenhouse. That's it.
Okay, you smart ass, I swear to God. I can see why people do not like that character. Here we have Marianne.
Goddess, I pray to thee. Please protect us.
I'll tell you this, when we're going around in the monastery, we're not going to be doing this every single time. Like the first month of every monastery, like the first weekend of every monastery, we'll do that. But afterwards, it's usually battle, then back here, but mostly just increase the support level of students. But you go right here to the cafeteria, or dining hall as it's so adequately put. And you can see all the different students we have that we are able to talk to. You see Felix, you see Raphael, you saw Petra over there in the cutscene. Felix, your attitude displeases me.
I'm busy. Do you want something?
I was hoping to spawn
I
with
can't
you.
right now, but let's fight soon. I look forward to beating you.
Ha! Yeah, right. Anyways, though, Raphael.
Ugh, I really need to eat.
I can't hold out until the next meal. Why can't the dining hall stay open all the time? I need to keep eating if I want to get stronger.
That sounds like a very familiar character trait. Yeah, sure, you need protein and food and energy, but trying to burn through it quickly is just not good for you. Anyways, you don't have anything for the dining staff yet, but do know this, when you're with the dining staff, it allows you to eat with 2 students, and therefore by eating with those 2 students you gain support levels. Or not support, you gain some minor support, and you're also able to increase their motivation rate. Remember when I showed you the goals? Everyone's is yellow, but you have yellow, red, orange, and green. Green is when they have maxed out, yellow is when they're about in the middle, orange is when they're low, and red, and basically grayed out in red shows that the characters have no motivation, and therefore you can't train them later on. Anyways, though, Petra.
Professor, I hope you know I am having great abilities for reading and writing. With sadness, I still have struggles with speaking. If my ways of speech are causing a burden, I hope you will have forgiveness.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a thing with people learning a second language. Like, oh yeah, they can speak or write the language fine, but they have trouble speaking said language. Anyways, Flame.
Hello there, Professor. Well, I call you that, but I am afraid I am not a student here myself.
Yet you wear the student uniform. That's a shame. Like, you say that's a shame, and where can I visit you then? But, like, that's a shame.
Should the opportunity arise, I would love to become a student and begin my studies in earnest. The monastery is kind enough to provide a sanctuary for my brother and I. He's the only family I have.
But let's view your quest.
Might you help me with a favor?
There's a ceremony related to and these are quests. You pick them out throughout the monastery, you can find them on the map, they'll pop up on both the mini-map, main map, wherever you look, and you'll get a few things. Catch a fish for the samurai and bring it to flame. You head to the fishing pond with the bait she gave you, and speak to the fish giver to try out fishing. We'll show it off real quick.
Might you help me with a favor?
And basically, it's not that hard to, you know, complete quests. You just go up, talk to the fish keeper here, and you can use this to increase your professor level as well. To begin fishing, first select your bait, wait until you see a silhouette of the fish you want to catch, and press A to hook it. Don't wait too long though, the fish will escape. Line breaks, fish will escape, blah 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 blah. You can see. We use Flame's bait, and it's really not hard to fish, that's the thing. You just sit there and you wait until, and you just press A. And you just, it's basically a rhythm game whenever you do it. You try to catch as much fish as possible, and there. It's just a basic way of showing you how to complete each quest. And trust me when I say you'll be doing it a lot if you want to raise your professor level early without spending all your renown. But here you go, Flame.
You helped me so much.
Flame. And you get a few things, such as, you get a lot, you actually get renown, which is actually good, but if you look at your renown whenever you go to use it, so to speak, it doesn't increase by much. Like, heck, even doing battles later on, which would increase your renown, increase it very, very little. I don't have business here yet. And yeah, they say there's certain areas you can't go to. At least
Imperial
not yet.
Princess,
You don't have full
the
reign of the
Crown
monastery.
Prince, and the heir to the Alliance's leading house. This is one exceptional year, that's for sure. If you're a teacher here, you better watch your step. If anything were to happen to those kids...
And then I guess it's my head, right?
Suffice to say that it could harm the reputation of the Church of Seros, which we've spent almost a millennium establishing.
I mean, that's fair. If anything happened to Imperial children or, like, royalty, and you're like, oh, yeah, who's their teacher? Oh, that motherfucker who you just hired? Yeah, no, it's his grass. And you don't have business there yet. Basically, every area that's closed off. You don't have full free reign, as I said earlier. But here we go. This is probably one of the more important areas. You have a tomato, Tea of the Saints, and what is this? What is this right here? A Vulnerary, and a White Trap. This area right here is the Amoeba Gazebo. And what you see, the amoebas or irons will appear on the fire. Each Fire Emblem character may also provide unique rewards. And there is a lot of Fire Emblem characters they can use. But Corin, Robin, Lucina, Crom, Ike, Tiki, Alm, Celica. All those characters you can use. You can travel into the Holy Tomb from the Amiibo Gazebo. I believe you can only transform, go there, but you do this. In this case, we're putting the Byleth Amiibo. As we scan, and items have already appeared. But if we go into it and go to the Holy Tomb, I believe this is a New Game Plus feature only. But going to the Holy Tomb actually does generate a whole new area, so it's actually quite different from other areas of the game. And I usually never go there very early on because it's almost kind of pointless going there. But going to the Holy Tomb gives you this view and depressing ass music, if I'm being honest. But they also gives you some items, weeds, a seraph rope. So you actually do want to come here as much as possible because there's just so many different items that you can get in here. Like look at this secret book, evasion, like all these stat boosting items, a talisman. Like look at that, all these stat boosting items, and just by coming here. And you can also talk to Sophis while you're in here as well.
It is almost time to begin.
And I say talk to Sophis, more like Sophis just talks and then pieces out. And yo, what? And there we go. You've been blessed with Sophis' shield. You can now use the Sophis shield. This is the ability you get by only going to the Home Tomb and completing it on New Game Plus. But you do this, everyone gets +7 resistance to all stats, and the effect decreases by a little bit and ends after 2 turns. So there you go. That's another reason why you want to go here early, because you can get the Sophis shield and use it very early on against enemies and some other bosses that just maybe like, magic. I'll tell you that, like, you don't get the magic use often, in my opinion. In fact, in most of my playthroughs, I click Sophis shield by mistake when I want to wait, because it consumes an action, and therefore I lose out on my alert stance. And you see right here that it takes forever to load up Garreg Mach Monastery because the area is so huge, and they had to generate so many different areas at once. But anyways, though, let's not zoom in. Let's... Jesus Christ. Let's zoom out, and you have the Gatekeeper here. What do you got for me, Gatekeeper?
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. By the by, have you ever regretted a decision and wished you could go back and undo it?
All the time.
It's too bad there's no lesson for how to turn back the old clock, huh? But I suppose a bad decision isn't worth all that fuss anyhow.
You'll see that gameplay mechanic later on. We can't go that way, obviously, so let's go around. Because you got people blocking me for going to basic areas. You got that boy right there. Got more bait and more seeds, but yeah, I was wrong. Like, you don't have full reign of the academy, but you can explore a good portion of the other areas and just have like a minor little
As
go
part
around.
of our commitment to the goddess, the knights undertake various missions across all of Fodlan. Assisting with the education of young nobles is also a part of our sacred duty.
Boring. I'm kidding. It's actually good to help teach people. I find it entertaining.
Hello, Professor. I have a teeny tiny question for you, if that's all right.
Shoot.
You haven't seen a man with hair the same color as mine, a scowling face, and a generally gloomy demeanor, have you?
That's very oddly specific, but are you looking for someone?
Well, yes. It's a bit difficult to explain. Please just let me know if you do see him, okay?
Sure. Alright. Fine. Whatever. Alright. This way leads back out to the students. We can't go that way yet, as you can no doubt tell.
Yes. I hear a member of House Resfeld, the ruling family of the Empire, has entered the Officers' Academy for the first time in ages.
Really?
It is said that the Adrestian Empire's very founding was aided by none other than Saint Seros. That is why the crest of Seros is on the Imperial flag.
Huh.
In recent years, a rift has developed between the Empire and the Church.
Probably why.
Let us hope that this will be a good opportunity for both parties to reforge their close relationship of years past.
That sounds kind of concerning, but whatever.
There are 2 types of crests. Major crests manifest their power most effectively, while minor crests are slightly weaker. It is said that the closer a person's blood relation is to various saints and heroes, the higher their chance of bearing a major crest. Of course, there are also examples of major crests manifesting in children whose parents bear no crest whatsoever. The exact nature of how and why crests are inherited is still a mystery.
Well, the way I look at it, it's kind of like the whole blood type thing. You can have characters who blood type change and all that, but yeah. But that's a good portion. I would explain like major crests and minor crests. Some characters get minor crests, kind of like the further away you get from characters' bloodline. So I guess like the closest example I could give is like look at something like, I don't know,
Professor?
Like a person's parent. Say if they have a black ancestor and then like 4, 5, 6 generations later there hasn't been anything like that, it's gonna get less and less likely for you to have a child who looks like that. Anyways, moving on though.
Hi, Professor. Have you gotten around to visiting the library yet?
No.
It's absolutely loaded with valuable information. I only wish I wasn't burdened with the necessity of sleep, so I could spend all my hours there.
Oh, no, trust me. But you ought to get some rest, just pisses her off, trust me. But you like reading
In
a lot?
manner, yes. But it's more that I want to learn as much as I possibly can.
Pay attention to her. Trust me, she has a very interesting set of abilities. I keep forgetting. Map. Right. Bumper. But there's a few other quests we could take on that I will assume that are right over here. Now let's hurry up and get those quests fitted, outfitted. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And yeah, we have Dudu and Dimitri.
I heard about the upcoming Mach battle. I want you to know, Professor, that I do not intend to lose.
Neither do I.
I hereby declare my intention to prevail at... Goodness, listen to me. The thrill of competition has carried me away. I won't speak so formally of a class assignment in the future.
Competition is a good motivator for everyone. Dudu though.
Let me know when you are hungry. I will make you a quality meal, as thanks for your service to His Highness.
That's not necessary. But let's look at your quest.
I have a request.
And there you go. Take the seeds and ask me. Oh yes, this is how we unlock the greenhouse. And take the seed. That just sounds wrong now they say it out loud, but whatever. Talk to random student number 45.
I'm not too keen on the professor of my class. I really hope to focus more on strategy. Maybe I should talk to my professor about transferring to a different class.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about when in regards to recruitment. Some characters might just ask to join your class, but usually you do have to build some sort of rapport with them in order to get it. How did I miss? Oh yeah, I know why, because I cared about my other student rather than the philanderer, the flirt. Some characters do it well, like Inigo, and to an extent Laszlo. But come on, man. Sylvain's the type of character I don't like because he does it for both minor and petty reasons. Minor and petty. I say major and petty.
Well, there's Dorothea, Hilda, and Mercedes. Lady Rhea's quite the beauty too. And I must admit, I've even checked out Professor Manuela once or twice. You know, Professor, I think I'm going to like it at the Officers Academy. There are beautiful girls as far as the eye can see.
I mean, there are, but yet people like Sylvain who
Professor,
just kind of does
I've got
it
a small
for
favor to ask.
giggles. But you also do this, share a bite, which unlocks another set that actually unlocks the facility of eating to be allowed. Yes, you know, you have to unlock the ability and privilege to eat. And now we can actually do some gardening. You do this by gardening, you can harvest all kinds of crops. Flowers, for instance, make your gifts. Some people may decorate the rooms with flowers you give them. Though you won't see it often, trust me. Use the plant command to decide which seeds to use. The more seeds that need a bigger harvest, while more compatible seeds will lead to a higher quality. Use the cultivate command to pay the greenhouse keeper to look after your crop. The more you spend, the better your harvest will be. Yada yada yada. Real plant. Deduce. Plant deduce. And just hit cultivate. And you can do each of these options, but we're just going to be infused with magic. And there we go.
My thanks.
You complete deduce quests. You get 300 points of renown, which isn't a lot, but hey, you got them. And we'll go to the diner staff and we'll have to finish off the second floor, and that'll be it for the episode, really. Because yeah, it's already approaching almost an hour, and we have a lot of things to do. So do know this. Usually it's like the first episodes like that take place through the month. Those will be done, but I may just go cut them out, like all the running around. But today's special, you can eat with certain students, and they'll boost their rapport with each other. Case in point, you can eat with Edelgard and Dorothea, and they'll both get maximum motivation because you ate with them. But you can do stuff like eat with Hilda and Marianne. You build rapport with them, and then they'll be more likely to enjoy your talk. But if they have, that's only if it has an upward point. Downward point obviously shows they have a dislike for today's menu, and some students you just can't eat with at all. But for other students, you need to have certain items. You get these items just by, typically exploring the monastery and just doing all you really need to do. But you can do this with certain students, do fish sauté. We'll get these later on, trust me, but for right now, I'll do this. We'll just have the one with Edelgard and Dorothea, and just share a meal with them, and we'll show it off.
Oh, I love this meal. How did you know?
I think I like this, but it's been a while, so I'm not sure.
There you go. It increases your motivation.
Nice.
You can leave if
I
you
can
want.
count on
You
you.
complete Sylvain's quest. And there's the theme I told you, the Futurama theme, where it's like, my mind immediately just jumps to Futurama. But you can also just, fast travel. But we can't do that yet. Because you actually need to visit the location before you gain the capability of fast traveling. Which, in a sense, I guess, makes sense.
Hey.
Is it me, or does it look like Violet's run is it not? It felt like it was slower for some reason.
Yes.
Like the actual character's run animation. I don't know why. Maybe because I wasn't holding down me. But anyways, go up to the second floor, speak to the other characters, and that'll be it. We'll finish our lesson, and then that'll be it for the episode. But this is the second floor of the monastery. You get by this, just kind of going around and talking with this audience chamber with Lady Rhea.
Do bear in mind that even as you are appraising your students, they are appraising you as well. I hope that you will do your best to form lasting bonds with your flock. Oh, and I look forward to witnessing your prowess in the Mach battle.
You'll see it, trust me. You'll see our capabilities, Lady Rhea. But anyways, you go through here. Hey, it's Gerald. How's it do? Fine.
The church has changed a lot since my time. Sedith, Hanneman, Manuela, Euritza, and many of the knights. None of them were around 20 years ago.
Yeah, no crap, that's 20 years ago. Like, oh yeah, this place changed a lot. It's like, yeah, you leave a town, you come back after 20 years. Like, oh crap, the Taco Bell that was here, now it's a Burger King. It's like very dumb stuff like that. It's like, yeah, no, Sherlock, of course something's gonna change after 20 years.
Captain Gerald has hardly changed since 20 years ago. I've aged at least 3 times as much as he has. Why am I talking about this? Oh, right. It was because I just overheard Tomas remarking on the subject. The leader of a legendary group of knights returned. People are bound to be talking about the old captain.
Yeah, this is like kind of funny. It's like, why am I talking about this out loud? Here we have Hanneman's office, and you can just take a look at his crest analyzer. It's some kind of experimental apparatus. You can't do anything yet.
Apparently, there is to be a mock battle between the houses. Interesting, but I hope you understand that I have far more important things on my mind.
Fair enough, I suppose.
My research is proceeding slower than I would like. Your crest is something of a challenge. Frustrating, yet also quite intriguing. I was wondering
understand
if
some
I
people
might
like
get a
challenge
sample
when it
of
comes to
your
their work.
flesh. A couple square inches would do. No? Perhaps some blood? A couple of drops on the device are all I need.
No! Like, blood is a maybe. Flesh? What the hell is wrong with you? You sound like a freaking psychopath. I got caught on the floor. Give me away, you trying to suck me in? And Manuela. Hello.
A mock battle? This early? Wow, Professor. They're not giving you any time to settle in, are they? Don't worry, though.
Should you get injured, I will care for you all through your recuperation. I will see to you, oh so very, very personally.
Man, where is the place where you just get flirted with by teachers like right out the gate? But you'll see that later with her supports. You'll see it, trust me. But we have the library, and there we have our last actual conversation for this episode. Because good freaking lord, there's a lot of talking in this game if you actually go out of your way to listen to everyone who they're talking about you. Tomas, correct?
Professor, I hear you are lacking in knowledge of the Church of Seros. The library contains countless documents about the teaching and the history of the church. I encourage you to make good use of them.
And check the bookshelves to read all sorts of reference materials, and you do have the option, but we're not really going to do that. Got like 1 or 2 dialogues left. Monk, tell me what you can tell about the world. Monk.
For decades. Actually, he was away from Garreg Mach for a spell, but he returned to his post last year. There is no one as familiar with the monastery's archives as he is.
Dude disappears for a year, but only comes back? Huh. Weird. And there is a second floor to this place, but you actually can't explore that. But that's very well it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. It's very short, very to the point, but I feel like that really just explains everything we need to do. So with that, that'll be the end of this episode. My name is Omega Zero, and next time you see me, we will begin the Mach battle. I'll catch you all later.